Alright, so let's add the hut. So press Shift A, go to mesh, create a cylinder and keep the vertices 20. Now I'll just move it up and scale it in Z down a little bit. Press Ctrl A and apply scale. Now go to edit mode and delete the top and bottom surfaces. So X, F. Now just press Ctrl R. Keep your mouse in the middle and drag the mouse wheel to add 4 edge loops. And if you drag it accidentally, press right click to let go. Now I'll just turn this proportional editing on and Alt Shift select the central 2 edges and scale it. So just scale it a bit. Great. I will also scale this bottom edge, but only in X and Y. So S, Shift Z. Great. You may again wanna apply scale, so Ctrl A and scale. Now shade smooth. You can also come here and in normals turn on this auto smooth. Great. Now let's add some doors and windows. So I'll just select this knife tool and start cutting it. So press shift to snap it to center. So one edge loop here, one edge here, and just divide it from here also. Great. Now I'll just shape the vertex. So GG to slide these and try to make the circular shape. So again GG to slide these down and maybe scale these a little bit. Maybe I'll scale these two inwards, so S and Y. Make sure you have turned off this proportional editing now. Okay, so now I'll add a window here. So select this vertex and another window maybe somewhere here. So shift select this one and press Ctrl Shift B. So what it'll do, it will start beveling it. Now scroll your mouse wheel and you can add edge loops like this. Once you have added these, come here to the bevel window and decrease this shape option value. So once you decrease this, you can just make it circular shape like this. And now Alt E and extrude faces along normal. So you can extrude these inwards. Great. Now I don't need these faces. So press 3 to select faces. Also select these faces. Maybe let's extrude this one also inwards. So shift select these and Alt E to extrude these as well. Great. Now I don't need these faces. So I'll just delete all these. Now let's add some more faces around the shapes. So just Alt click to select the face loops. Alt Shift click here and Alt Shift click here. And press again Alt E to extrude faces along normal. Something like this. Great. And for the door, it adds some extra faces here. So just select these and delete. So X, F, maybe this one as well. So X, F. Great. Now just select these faces and again Alt E, extrude faces along normal and just extrude those outside like this. Now at this point you may want to just merge the vertices because there may be some duplicate vertices. So press 1 A to select all, M and merge by distance. So it removed 0, but there may be some vertices overlapping, so it's a good practice to do this. Now just select the edge loops around these corners. So Alt Shift click all these edges and Alt Shift click this one. This one. Press Ctrl B to bevel, and as you can see this is bulging out because of our previous selection. So you can again make the shape to be 0.5, and here it goes in the concave direction. Alright, so now let's quickly create the UVs for this. I have just scaled it down a bit from here, and make sure that you delete these extra faces. So just Alt select, click these ones and delete these, and also here delete if there are any extra faces here. Alright, so now let's go to UV editing, and I have reset the UVs for this, so yours may look like different somewhere around here, standard cylinder UVs, but we are going to create new UV set. So let's select these edges. So I'm going to divide it into two. So Alt click this one, Alt Shift click this one, and I'm gonna separate these front faces. So Alt Shift click this one, this one, this one, and this one. And now because these inner faces are separated as well because of this seam, you can take one seam here. So Shift select these as well as these, and now press U and mark seam. Now A to select all, and U unwrap. So you can see these are the islands, and these are the UVs from inside of this, and this one is here. So now I'm going to straighten these UVs. So for this one, let's select one straight face. So maybe let's select this one. So make it even more perfectly straight. So select these vertices, right click and align auto, these two, and align auto, these two, align auto, and these two. Now this face is perfectly aligned. So select this and press L to select the rest of the UVs. Press F3 and search for follow active quartz. You may start just typing it and it will show up here. So follow active quartz. Okay, so it straightens these UVs. Let's do the similar thing here. So here I'm going to take this face. So again in vertex mode, select these two, align auto, these two, align auto, these two, and these two. Now select this one and L to select the rest, and just press F3 and follow active quad. Great. Now you can see these faces go somewhere flying. So let's solve this. So just bring these faces out. So select these, all these faces, and just pull those out. Maybe this one, and these ones. Great. Left some of these. Okay, so now I'm going to just press L to select and bring it down a little bit, and let me also fill this gap. So just bring them closer, and now both these islands are straightened. So select these two, go to UV and pin, and now you can select all these and select these islands and press U unwrap. So this snaps back all these faces here. Now I'll straighten these in the same way. Alright, so now let's make the stylized wood material. So generally I go with the hand painted texture, but this time I thought of trying a procedural material. So I have created a procedural material. I'll just quickly go through the node graph. So this is how it looks. This is the EV rendered look, and it's a pretty simple node setup, but it is object specific because I have used the UV texture coordinate, and I have also changed some mapping like skewing and upping the scale in different directions to get this output. I'll put a link in the description to download this blend file, and you can play with this material as you like. So it is just a bunch of wave textures. As you can see, I have mixed them. So I'll quickly just show you from here. So this is the first one. If I just control shift click it, it will go to the viewer node. So this is the first one with a little bit of distortion, and because these are too close to each other, so I just override it with this one to hide something in between. So the mix looks like this, and then I have added a secondary distortion with this. So this shows the circular type of effect, and again I have mixed it with this one, and the mix looks like this, and then mix of the previous one and this one, it comes here. So this is the setup, and on top of these two I have added a noise texture as well to create the microscopic details. So this is the noise texture. It is fairly simple, and again I have mixed it here. So this is the overall mix, and then I have added this color ramp with these wooden colors. So this is the final look, and this goes to the base color, and with this mix node I have taken out this bump and roughness map. So this is how the final material looks. So here I have applied this material to my object, and this is how it looks. Alright, so here I am in Krita. Let's paint the flower leaf. So let me hide the background layer, and with a really small brush let's draw the outline, something like that, and just fill it with the black color, and you can just erase these corners extra. Great. Okay, now just control click to select it, and right click, go to add, and add a transparency mask. Now just control A to select all and delete, control shift A to deselect. Again go to the gradient tool, and I have created this pink gradient here. So you can see the darker color on the one side and the brighter color on the other side. Just click and drag to fill our area like this. Great. Now just add another layer, and to add this transparency mask onto this layer, press Ctrl and click and drag over to it. So it adds the mask over this layer as well. Now this is going to be our shadow light. So just select the brushes, and with the pen pressure on, I'm using the XP pen tablet, just draw some lines here. Let me just increase the size a bit. Like this. Great. Now just bring the opacity down somewhere around here. So just select this airbrush and start painting. Now I'll add a highlight layer, and to do that just duplicate this layer. So press copy so that the mask also copied from the below layer, and just press Ctrl A and delete everything on this layer. Ctrl Shift A to deselect, and in this layer we are going to paint the highlights. So select white color and again start adding the highlights. Now I'll just blur this shadow a little bit so that it blends with the color a little better. So just select it, go to filter and blur, Gaussian blur. Just blur this. Great. Now again just copy the layer and Control A and delete it so that we get a blank layer with this mask on. Control Shift A to deselect, and this time I'm going to add a little bit of dots over it so it gives a kind of texture. So you can come to the texture and select this brush, this splat brush, select it and just with black color paint over it. Okay, so here I have painted this center of flower in the similar way, and just select the leaf and place it somewhere in the top like here, and select the centerpiece and put it somewhere around here. Great. Now just export this as a PNG. Alright, so now let's create that flower in Blender. So let me just add a plane and quickly go to shading, select the top view, press new, and in this material slot I'll just drag that PNG file. So here plug the color into base color and alpha to alpha, and here in the settings in opacity make the blend mode to alpha clip and also the shadow mode to alpha clip. And if you see these type of artifacts in edges, you can just add clip threshold and make them smooth. Now in layout I am seeing this texture view, so you can just come in here and in color select texture. Now I'll just cut these out into separate objects. So go to edit mode and select the knife tool and start cutting these. Now just select these faces, go to mesh and separate selection. Again go to mesh and separate selection and delete the plane. So now we have two separate objects, and just to edit them better I'll just add some more edge loops. So when you are editing this way, you may find that your texture distorts when you move the vertices like this. So what I have done already is that I have turned on this option, correct face attributes. So if you turn this on, now if you move your vertices, the texture will remain at its place. Now just edit it with the proportional editing. So I'll select this and just pull this down a bit, something like that. Shade smooth. Great. Now just place the flower onto side of this. Okay, so here I have created two small variations, and now I'll just join all these. So just shift select all these and press Ctrl J. And now we'll place these flowers on top of our hut. Alright, so now I'll just add a top part so that I can put the flowers over it. So shift A and add a cube, not a sphere, and I'll just add a sub-D modifier and just scale it and position it with the proportional editing. I'll just edit it, apply the modifier and grab the vertices and start pulling it into the position. So now I'll just select these flowers, and to place them over this dome, I'll go to the snapping and select the face, select center and click this align rotation to target. Now whenever you select this, press shift D and pull this near to this. Just turn on this magnet, pull this near to this. You can see it aligns according to the face. So in this way you can just place them really fast. So maybe scale these down, shift D and start placing the flowers. Alright, so now let's create some doors and the window inner faces. So again, go to edit mode, alt click to select these edges and press F to fill. Now With these faces selected, go to mesh, separate, selection. So now these are separated, and again I'm going to separate this face for door. So mesh, separate, selection. Now just select the door, go to edit mode and select this bisect tool, select the face and just click and drag to subdivide it like this. If you press Ctrl, it will snap. So let's again select, click and drag. Like this. Now I'm going to use a standard material for this. That's I'm gonna find on Blender Kit. So let's go to Blender Kit. You can turn this add-on from Edit Preferences, and in here select Materials and search for Wood Stylized. And here you can see multiple materials. I'm going to use this one. So click and drag it onto the object. So this is how it is with the default UVs. If you come here to UV maps, you can see it has created auto map. I'm going to delete both of these and create my own UVs. So let's go to UV and press A to select all, U, unwrap. So to see the texture, you can come in here and select the stylized wood image. Now select the faces and just separate them. So if they are moving like this, what you can do, you can turn on this UV sync selection, and now you can move them separately. Now for the windows, select these and I'm going to give them an emissive material. So click on new and just delete this principled BSDF, shift A, search for emissive and just plug it to the surface. Let's give it a yellow color, increase the strength. Alright, so this is how it finally looks. I have added a brown texture here. I have painted this in Krita as well, and I'm going to show you how I painted this in the next video. And for the flower material, I have just added the same texture into emission and just added some hue and saturation values. And for the world setting, I'm using the forest HDRI that comes default with Blender. So this is how it looks finally. Now this is a procedural material, but you can always just bake it using the cycles render, and then you can export it into any other software. So thank you so much. I'll meet you in the next video. Bye bye.